एक मेरे को यूट्यूब खोल के दे। All right, good evening, everyone. I hope I am audible. Can you please give me a thumbs up so that I can check whether my audio and video is fine? हम्म, इस पे क्यों नहीं आ रहा बच्चे? Okay. All right. So as usual, we have um, started getting this anxiety and apprehensions. We know that the NEET PG is announced. Initially, we had a notification in the newspaper that the registration will start at 3 p.m. and then the NBE has given the announcement that it will be not today, you know, but they have reconfirmed that the exam will be on 5th of March. So, first of all, before we start talking about how you can effectively utilize your 60 days, I just want to emphasize on the fact that please keep your anxiety level to low. These things gonna happen. Notifications come. I mean, errata will be issued. You will see Twitter storms. You will see posts on Instagram. Different things. But guys, please remember that one thing that you have to do is you have to make sure that you are utilizing your time to the fullest. 60 days can make a very big difference in your preparation. Very big difference in your preparation. Those who are following the regular schedules with anybody, be it any platform, be it a live coaching institute, or be it a face-to-face classes, and you are already done with your subjects well, you're already following a revision program, please keep on following them. Do not change your strategies. You are already preparing very well, and I'm sure you're gonna do very well in the exam. However, if you are the one who have got up very late and you are among those who get up with any notification that now you want to read and now you are getting a panic attack, so still 60 days is a very good enough thing. If you simply ask me that those who are starting today, I mean, let us consider people number one, and let me just go onto this, and let us consider group number one. And this group number one is that they are starting today with the thought of that the notification has come, because they were thinking that the exam is going to get delayed and so on. So still you have lot things to do. Just pick up any revision program and any previous year MCQs book. That's all. These are the two things that you have to do. Any revision program and previous year MCQ book. If you are doing this, that is the best way to utilize your next 2 months, next 60 days. And this revision program, like if you are associated with DBMCI, is a revision express, which is specifically being structured. Previous year book is TTP. However, if you are already doing it with some other program of different platform, you can very well, jolly well do them as well. But please remember that in this 60 days, if you can do this, this should be more than sufficient. Now let's talk about the second group. And the second group is those students who have already done their reading once, or have done their reading once and a revision one, how effectively they can utilize their 60 days. Okay, so now first of all, you have to identify that what you want to do in these 60 days. Those who have already revised the subject multiple times, the ideal way that they should do is, they should write a GT, and with every GT, I mean, if I say write a GT, and in that GT, evaluate it and identify your bottom 5 subjects. And for the next 7 days, focus on these bottom 5 subjects and then write another GT. And they should repeat. So this is the way. This is for those students who have already done few revisions. Whenever they are reading their notes again and again, they are feeling that they know this stuff. That's a way to do it. Now, those who still want to do the revision, I have planned a strategy for them. And the strategy is very simple. We know that we have around 60 days available with us. I'm gonna break down this into 45 days and 15 days. And then that is how I'm gonna break them down. Okay. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna write the name of the subjects. I'm gonna write anatomy, physio, and a biochem, path, pharma, and a micro, FM, ENT, opthal, PSM, medicine, surgery, OBG, peds, skin, anesthesia, psyche, radio, and orthopedics. And these are the subjects. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to divide these subjects into 5 groups, which are the ultra short subjects. Now, if you're talking about the ultra short subjects specifically for the PG entrance exam, they will be skin, anesthesia, psyche, radio, and ortho, and along with that forensic medicine. I'm gonna give 1 day each to them. 1 day each to them. Then I'm gonna see. So there are 6 subjects which are ultra short. Then I'm gonna look at some short subjects. Now, what are the short subjects that I have in this? I'm gonna say physio. I'm gonna say biochemistry. I'm gonna say ENT. I'm gonna say ophthalmology as of now. I'm gonna say pediatrics. Pediatrics. So these are the short subjects that I'm gonna put. All right. So that means 5 subjects are short subject. I'm gonna give 2 days to them. Okay. Now, if I'm gonna look at the medium subjects, I'm gonna put anatomy, pathology, pharmacology, microbiology, PSM. So these 5 subjects I'm going to put as the medium, and I'm going to give 3 days to them. Okay. OBG I will give 4 days, and medicine and surgery I'm going to give 5 days. So 4 is OBG, which is maybe a long subject, and then ultra long. Now please remember, this division is specifically for NEET PG 2023. However, we are getting next. Obviously, these weightage are going to change. So in this, if you're going to see them, they will become 45 days. And in these 45 days, this is how I'm going to plan the revision. But there is a very, very important catch over here. In these 45 days, your aim is not just to revise these subjects, but you also have to add a GT in your preparation. GT every 10th day. And a GT every 10th day. So for 3.5 hours, you're going to write the GT, and at least 3.5 hours you're going to use for its revision. Okay, so maybe one day you can write the GT with every short subject, and 3.5 hours in the next short subject you're going to use it for its revision. So 3 GTs you will be able to add if you're going to add these short subjects to them. Okay, I'm going to put it into a PDF and we'll share it in the group. But that is how I feel that you should be able to cover. Now, how this structure should be created? Now, this structure should be created in a way that a lot of time people face a challenge, and the challenge is that if they are reading one subject in one day, they feel slightly monotonous in that. So you can club 2 subjects, and those 2 subjects can be read on the same day. That varies from a person to person. If you are one person who wants first a completion and then wants to move forward, then you can do that. But if you think that if you're reading one subject it becomes slightly monotonous, then you can club the 2 subjects, but the broad weightage of the subjects on the day should remain this. Okay, so I've given you 3 ways. The first is, if you're starting today, then just pick up a revision program and a previous year MCQ book, and that is the only 2 things that you should do. If you are already revised your subjects multiple times, then follow this cycle of GT bottom 5 subject, GT bottom 5 subject, and that's all. If you have done one revision, you want to revise the subjects again, this is the plan that I have, and the 15 days is the next plan that we're going to talk 2 weeks before the exam. I feel that this division is a decent division to go forward. Now, what to read in this day? It's as simple as that. Your notes, first thing, previous year MCQs or previous year topics. These are the broad things that I feel that you should do. Okay, now I think we and the PDF of this, I'm going to share it on this as well as on my Telegram channel. Now let's go and let's see your doubts. All the doubts that you have, you can put it onto the comment section. Getting 140 plus in some GTs while getting 120 only in the some other, what to do? Okay, so Nikunj, please remember, the point is, as I always say in the morning motivation sessions also, that um, if you're playing cricket, it is not necessary that you're going to score century every time. So changes in the score is absolutely okay. Always identify of the GTs in what are the kind of mistakes that you are doing. How many questions are there in the paper that you are unable to recall properly? Unfortunately, majority of the time that the way that you are reading is you are just touching the topic and go. It's touch and go. And that's a mistake that you are doing. It's never about touch and go. It is about identifying that how the examiner asks question from a particular topic. And it is the ability of a teacher to tell this to the student that how this topic is being structured in the exam, how a question is being asked in the exam. Like, as I always say in the class also, that for renal tumors, which is a favorite topic of the examiner, if the examiner is going to give you this topic, the only three things that they can ask you is, is it a renal cyst, is it a renal cell carcinoma, or is it an angiomyolipoma? So by looking at the CT, you should be able to identify how a cyst look like. Cyst will be water. Water will be hypodense, homogeneous, HU value 0. How will be renal cell carcinoma? Heterogeneous without fat. How will be angiomyolipoma? Heterogeneous with fat. That's all. So that point, are you able to identify? That is what is going to make you winner. So those are the points that you have to pick up into the question. Now, what is your basic understanding that is needed? How does fat look like on the CT? How does fluid look like on the CT? Have you understood it in your class or not? That is what is going to make you different in comparison to the other people. Now, starting with the first revision, it is 100% possible to get a rank within top 1000 2 months, provided you dedicate your 2 months to your studies. The most of the time what happens is people are unable to dedicate that time. I am telling you, people do wonder. Okay, I'll tell you a story on this front, which is one of my favorite story. Now it's about that there were a lot of people who used to live in a village, and there was an old saying in that particular village that never go onto that cliff. If you will go to that particular cliff, you will never come back. So that is why nobody used to go to that cliff. One day, a group of 6 young people decided that they will climb that cliff. They thought that, okay, now they're gonna go and they're gonna climb the cliff. Everybody tried to stop them, but they said, no, they're gonna go, they're gonna go. And so they started climbing the cliff. So the moment they started climbing the cliff, um, one of the person got slipped, and as a result of the people were shouting from the back, don't go, you're gonna die, don't go, don't go, you're gonna die. So the moment there is a slight slip that one person had, the 2 people backed off, and now they're left with 4 people. They traveled for some time, and after some time people still shouting, don't go, don't go. Another minor slip happened, and he listened to the previous people, and then the two also went back, and now they're left with the 2 people. And then again they were climbing, and then again one of the person, something happened, and one of the person also turned back. So finally they left with only one person, and that one person climbed the cliff. After some time that person came back, and when he came back, and he told the story that there was nothing and I was able to climb and all, and all. Now, anybody who can tell me why he was able to climb, why nobody else was able to climb, and why he was able to climb? The reason is he was deaf, and that was the reason that he was able to climb. He was able to deaf. He was not able to listen that the people are stopping him to go from the cliff, to go onto the cliff. So the whole point that I want to tell you over here is that please don't listen to the negative people at this stage. Become deaf. Become deaf, that there is only one thing that you have to listen, and that is you want to crack the exam because you don't have a second option. You do not have any plan B. You do not have any second option. And the only option that you have is you have to give your best. A lot of time people tell me, sir, I am not able to do this thing. I am not. I say, do you have any other option? You don't have an option now. Then read. If you will not read, it is certain that you will not crack the exam. If you will read, there are chances that you might be able to crack the exam. So it is always better to go with might be able rather than definitely not be able. So that's all that I'm gonna say. At whatever stage you are, at whatever place you are, focus on that I will do my best. In the morning sessions, when we take, always all those who are joining it at this stage, what I say that once you are coming back from the exam, the only point that I want to listen from you is that you did your best. And take my word, guys, all those students who have given me good result in the past are the one who after coming back from the exam told me, sir, this was my best attempt. I still remember um, when Aman wrote the INICT exam and came, and I asked him immediately after coming back from the exam. He called me. I said, "Okay, how was your exam?" He said, "Sir, I don't know, but all I can say is that in 3 months, whatever I have read, I did my best." And the moment he told me this statement that I did my best, I told him, "Ki bacche, you will be getting the rank." Then obviously there were some mistakes, etc., that were there. But all that I want to say is that the moment you are writing your exam, the thing that should come to your mind is you did your best. That's all. Okay. Don't bother about this. That's a broad number of days that I have given. I will put it in an order. That what is an exact order? There is no exact order basically. I'm gonna put it in a logical order. You can follow that order, or you can follow a different order. So you follow that particular order and try to finish it in 45 days, and the last 15 days should be for ultra quick revision. That is all that you have to do. Please remember, the paper pattern will be more of clinical pattern. That means the things that you commonly do in your day-to-day life as a doctor, the common clinical problems that you encounter, the common challenges that you face, what are the things that are harmful for the patient, what are the things that you should definitely avoid not doing for the patient, what are the must know areas in a particular subject. Those are the things that are very commonly asked. Amulya, there is a very important point that I want to tell you. I mean, do you know this is a very wrong thought of thinking that all people of AIMS have got very strong fundas, all people of a private medical college do not have a concept, all people of Maulana Azad or KEM or SMS, they have got great knowledge. I totally differ from it on the basis of my now more than 17 years of experience of teaching. Now, there was a time when it used to happen, but now because of the world of technology, the knowledge, I'm a very strong believer of a fact now, and this is a world that I want to create, that your medical knowledge is not limited to your medical college, and that has become very true in today's world, because in the initial time the resources were limited to particular section of the society. There were an inequitable distribution of the resources, but now the resources have been distributed adequately. Anybody who wants to study has an access of quality resources thanks to the technology. There are a lot of problems that have happened because of the technology, but there are a lot of good things that have also happened because of the technology. So with the help of technology, now the knowledge is not limited to certain section of the society. It has been disseminated to a broader group of people. So anybody who wants to acquire knowledge has resources to access that particular knowledge. So gone were the days when the people from so-called top or great medical colleges used to have great fundas, and the people who are so-called not from so-called privileged medical colleges are not having access or not having great fundas. It's about whosoever is reading is gonna get great concept. Whosoever is not reading is not gonna get the concept. And that's the simplest aspect nowadays. Focusing on the fast track revision test and discussion with TTP, will it be enough? Yes, Abdullah, it will be very, very useful for you. Scoring around 130 to 135 correct in the GT is done with PYQs once, but haven't done much of a QBank. What should I do with the QBank? So, Rashmi, bache dekho, QBank is an optional stuff. I mean, it is something good to do, not must to do. What is must to do? Your notes and your previous year MCQs. Your notes and previous year MCQs can easily take you up to 150 to 160 plus. And the rest, everything is your thought process that you can apply. So if you can do QBank, then that's good thing. But you don't do QBank by compromising your notes and the previous year topics. The single most important thing that is there is the previous year topics. Okay. And one more point, I'm working on this, as I told some of the students in our auto sessions, that but that obviously that's not a part, but that is a separate program that I'm gonna do. I have done, and first aid people keep on talking to me. 2 years back, I have created a test series based out of first aid to Indianize the questions of the first aid. I have modified it further. I have added more clinical questions onto that, and maybe I'm gonna launch it in a day or so. I have vetted it today, and that is why I could not start the session at 9 o'clock, because I was just busy in formulating that in the detail. But that has been done, and most likely I'm gonna launch that tomorrow. So if somebody is worried or apprehensive about the clinical pattern of questions, you can use those clinical pattern questions, and that will reduce your anxiety and apprehension on the clinical pattern question. And there are high chances, because a lot of time some people who are making the paper, they don't have much of a time and they feel it's a burden. You never know, they might directly pick up the question from the same set. All right, so that's predominantly. I missed live radiology class, but so shall I use to finish radio in one day? So bache, two things that you can do for the radiology. The first thing that I would recommend you to do the for the radiology is, I have on my YouTube channel, as well as on DBMCI YouTube channel, and on the auto group, 1 minute radiology series. It's a must watch for every student. Must watch. I can tell you that your more than 50% of the radiology will be completed in less than an hour. You will not take more than 40 to 45 minutes to complete, do the binge watch. Consider that you are watching a episode of a Netflix series. That's all. Your 50%, more than 50% of the radiology will be completed with that. Still, if you do not get confidence, my Power course radiology, which I have completed in 10 hours, is more than sufficient for solving almost, I will not say all the questions, almost all the questions of the radiology. Obviously, if you've done the 3-day class, there is no doubt there will not be even a single question in your paper that you will not be able to solve if you have done that particular class. But that's how much time you're able to give it. Suvlin, don't bother much about it, bache. If a lot of time what happens, we are very anxious, we are very, very apprehensive. Your score dips little bit in one of the GT, and you feel that's okay. Identify what happened. I will also suggest to everybody that try to simulate the examination environment. This is a high time. Then when you do this, try to simulate the examination environment in a way so that the anxiety and apprehension can be reduced. Nikita, okay, so you have attended a foundation batch. Let me tell you very interesting point over here is, do you know one thing? Apart from some of the updates that are there in the subject, when I have given the exam way back in 2006, the topics are broadly same. Urethral trauma used to be asked in our time also, it is still asked. There are must know topics that are going to be there, but yes, there are some updates in the subject. Whichever updates are there, that you have to do. So if you have done a TND program with any of the place, the idea of a TND program is to specifically cover those updates. At least this is what we follow at DBMCI. I am very, very sure that this is being followed at all other places also. So if you have done a foundation program anywhere and you have summed it up or clubbed it up with a TND program, then don't bother about the outdates. You are very much updated. Don't bother. Uh, so, Saurabh, how to remember the volatile stuff? That is a challenge. We are working on this. We develop a lot of ways. I'm sure that in your classes you must have learned it. Create some way so that you have consolidated at one place. The one thing that you have forgotten after two-time revision is a volatile stuff. Write it at a separate place and make sure that before 7 days before the exam, this is something that you have read it. If you have read it 2, 3, 4 days before the exam, and if it is asked in the exam, there are very high chances that you will be able to apply to this. So Divya, I'm happy that you have gone to 145 to 150. I think in the 2 months you should try to take a jump of up to 170. That is my suggestion to you. In the 2 months, 60 days, just 20 questions. And first, first let's try to do the things to tell you that you are making the things simplified for you. And for those who are scoring less than 100 marks or less than 100 correct, I will say just do an aim that every day of reading should give you one extra correct. That's all. And from 90, you are able to reach to 150. So first, create the targets that are feasible. One day reading of 12 to 14 hours should give you one extra correct question. Tell me, is it doable or not? It is definitely doable for the people who are scoring 70 correct, 80 correct, or 90 correct. It is definitely not possible for those people who are doing 140 correct or 150 correct. But then for them, the target is that in every 3 day, they should find enough information that they're doing one extra question correct. That's all. And that is how I am gonna go forward. Hmm. Must know topic. I think day to day, it's already there in my Telegram group. I have already shared it. If you just scroll it onto my Telegram group, you will find it. Sunil, this is bache wrong. If you have not started GT, but better late than never, start it today. Start it today without a confusion. Prajwal, very very important part, bache. है ना? If 2 lakh people are writing the exam, if you want to come in top 10,000, you have to do something different that rest 1,90,000 people are not doing. It's as simple. It's as simple as that. All right. Okay, guys. So that's broadly my session. I am available for all of you. Do join my Telegram channel. It's Rajat's Radiology Review. I will share it into the description of this session, and do let me know if I can help you out in any way. We have 60 days. Never think too much about the past, that why you did not study in the past. Whatever that has happened has happened. You can't change that, but you can start today and can change the future. So start today. Whatever that has happened has happened. There is no point crying on the spilled milk. But from today, I will make sure that I'm gonna read it in a way that I have never read it in my life. Every day when I am sleeping, it should come to my mind, oh, are you the real person who is able to read so much? Where were you? Those are the thought that should come to your mind all the time. When I was able to get great ranks in the past, if I look back at those time, I always think about that, was it me who did so much of the hard work? And all those hard work have always paid back. It has always paid back. So pull up your socks. Just do this promise to yourself that in these 60 days, you're gonna read it in a way so that you can say with a lot of proud to yourself that this was your best attempt. Do let me know if I can help you out in any way, in any form. I will be more than happy to provide my level best to support you. That's all. Take care, guys, and have a good night. May God bless you all.